Hey guys, welcome back to The Interceptor, and we are here with a very different video than the videos that I usually make. Today we are going to be reacting and responding to this video here. Now, I have already watched it, but this is a clip from one of Kabam's live streams about a week ago that I just saw pretty recently, and a couple days ago, and I kind of just wanted to make a video about it. Credit to Barrowman for being the one that clipped this and uploaded it 9 days ago. But I'm going to play this whole clip, and then we're going to talk about it after, but just listen to what he has to say. Most people probably haven't seen this yet, so just pay attention to what it says, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So here it is.
Remark and many others have asked, when are we getting 6-star Magic in Quake?
Okay, so
you picked violence with these questions.
Yeah, well, it's a question we got a lot throughout this entire the 9 days. Every time I was looking at the stream, I saw that question come up, and I specifically told everyone, don't answer. I want to be the one to answer this one.
Ooh.
6-star Magic and Quake are a tricky. They're in a tricky spot. They are still too powerful to release, and especially Quake. Like Quake, the only reason that Quake isn't the biggest problem anymore is because she's stuck as a 5-star. Ascension was in danger of not being released because of these two characters.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversations about that.
We had a conversation, and I made a choice, and I actually want to hear from you guys what you think about this. Is we were told we can release 6-star Magic and Quake if we give them very minor tune downs, and the minor part here is that it would just give us, like, bring Quake from where she is to, like, where Ghost is. Like, still extremely, extremely powerful. Just have some way to counterplay them. And we decided not to go with that. We decided we better just leave them as is, as 5 stars, than it would be to make that change. But I actually kind of want to hear from players on this one. Like, is there a world that we would rather have a 6-star Magic and Quake with a tiny change to them? And I mean tiny.
I've seen, so let me, because you were talking, chat went by. A lot of people were like, do it, sure, sounds great, makes sense. And then someone came in hard with a hard pass on the tune down.
Yeah, and that's fair. And if that's the case, they stay as 5 stars.
So this is...
All right, so that's the video, and I'm just going to switch it now to my face cam real quick. Okay, and we'll talk about the rest of it. So, sorry, I gotta stick to this. Okay, that's the video, right? And we have actually gotten more information than this. Kabam did a post on the forums that outlined what exactly this little tune down, actually I believe the word he used is minor tune down, so the minor tune down would be for Quake. It's not minor. It is a massive, massive tune down that pretty much eliminates the whole point of Quake being Quake. What they're proposing to do to Quake is changing her concussions into physical vulnerabilities. One, that's one of 2 changes. And 2, making it so that she can't evade unless physical vulnerability is up. That's insane. That's crazy. That is such a terrible idea. Why would anyone in the community ever want this? If those are the changes you're going to make, don't bother. You are ruining one of the most beloved and popular champions in the history of your game. And what do you mean they're not balanced to come into the game? Yeah, sure, they're great. They're 2 of the best champions. If Magic was to be a 6-star rank 5, I'm sure she would still be used a lot in Alliance War. And that's the main reason she's not used, is just because of her low health pool as a 5-star, even Ascended. But there are so many new champions out in the game that are not Quakeable, that you can't use Magic for. Immunity to power control has only become more popular, and it will only become more popular, like more and more popular in the future. You are literally creating counters every day, every month to these champions. And over the last few years, how are they not balanced yet? They are worse than they were before. And Magik didn't rule the game back then. So how is she going to rule the game now? How is she going to become a quote-unquote problem for the meta? She's not. You're just delusional. You're just crazy. You're out of touch with the game because you don't play the game competitively. You don't know these things. Statistics are not going to tell you these things about the game, and Kabam just can't comprehend that. Also, I'll talk about why the Quake nerf is a terrible idea in my opinion, and how I would rather see 6-star Quake never come out than this happen. Quake is, in my opinion, still the second best champ in the game. I'm going to say that. Based on abilities alone, with star availability not as a factor, only champion ability, like the champion's abilities as a factor, she is the second best champion in the game in 2024. I'm recording this on December 30th, 2023, and it'll probably be out tomorrow, the 31st, but we'll say as of the start of 2024. She's the second best champ in the game. Straight up. Straight up she is. And the things that make her unique is, yeah, her ability to evade, but also her insane ability accuracy reduction. You are taking away her ability to counter champions like Mordo, like Hyperion, like Havoc. You are taking away her ability to do those. She will be completely useless in those matchups now. Why would we want that? We don't want that. Because if Kabam updates the champion to introduce them as a 6-star, they're going to change the 5-star. I don't want that. I don't want all versions of my Quake to just be a shadow of what they once were. I would rather have no 6-star Quake, but her still be the second best champ in the game. And also, at one point, they make a comparison to how good Ghost was and how she's currently in the meta, and like they're kind of excusing the fact that she's available as a 6-star. Ghost is still the best champ in the game. I want to say that. Kabam's completely out of touch. They don't know what they're talking about. It is not close. Ghost is the best champ in the game. It is not close. And I don't know what would have to happen for someone to ever pass Ghost, but it would have to be something insane. Like, it would have to be a crazy buff or just a new champ that's so overpowered and broken. But the thing is, if we have a champion of that caliber, they're just going to get tuned down. So I don't think it's very realistic that anyone is ever going to pass Ghost. Ever. She's just by far the best in the game. And like I said, I don't think it's even close. So I just want to take a second to reference that. Kabam's another reason why just Kabam's crazy. But one of the reasons that Quake, as popular as she was to use, didn't just run around and destroy everyone is because she was one of the hardest champs to play in the whole game. She was one of, if not the single hardest champion to use in the game. Full deck style quaking is not something you can learn quickly. It is going to take you a while and a lot of hours, and even then you won't become perfect. I mean, even myself, when I was at the absolute peak of my quaking skills, when I soloed Abyss Thing with a 4-star Quake, a fight that took like 34 minutes. Like, I was still at the point where I could die with Quake in any fight. I would take her into war, and yeah, sometimes I would die. I would get hit probably once every 5 minutes. I'd be quaking, on average. She is an insanely difficult insanely difficult champion to play, and more than that, there's also the fact that her different play styles are sometimes needed. Like in certain fights, you can only do them heavy only, which is which is a way of playing Quake that not even I knew. I didn't even take the time to learn it. It's like one of the most advanced things. And I just don't want you taking away one of the most important pieces to one of the most beloved champions to try to make her fit the meta, when the fact that she's hard to play makes her fit the meta. You're not considering the difficulty of playing a champion when you're trying to balance a champion. That's a factor that needs to be considered. Tigra is crazy. You know why she doesn't destroy absolutely everyone? Because she's very hard to play. She is very hard to play. Sorry. I'm losing my voice a little bit from all the yelling. And this is like my 5th bottle of water today. Sorry. Okay. I just don't even know what to do. Kabam, I'm talking to you here. Please don't touch Quake. I would rather never see a new star level of Quake, ever, than you touch a hair on her head. Don't do it. We don't want this. You said that in that video, you said that you wanted to hear what the community has to say. This is the community standing up saying, we don't want this. I don't care about getting a 6-star rank 5 ascended Quake who's going to be a full rank behind in like a year when 7-star rank 4s come out, if it's going to be a champion with no utility and only damage. I don't want that. Because the one change with the physical vulnerabilities, changing the concussions to physical vulnerabilities, is one thing. But also, making it a requirement that she can't evade without them active makes her useless in a lot of matchups. Like, debuff immune nodes, enemies like Taskmaster, enemies like Emma Frost. I don't know. But this isn't what we want. And really, I think that you have 2 options here. I think that you either need to, 1, leave Quake alone, or B, find a way of balancing the meta according to you, because the player base already thinks it's balanced enough to bring in these champions. I mean, Magik 100%. Quake, I'm fairly certain. So you either need to leave her alone and just don't give us a 6-star. I'd rather have that than you change her. Or B, fix the meta. Or at least consider some more statistics that convince you that the meta's already balanced enough. But either way, I'm going to end the video with this. Don't you dare touch my baby Quake. Don't you dare. Don't do it, Kabam. Don't do it.